So, um, have you ever found yourself wondering how history isn't just made, but maybe,
Mm-hmm.
uh, sometimes meticulously unmade?
Reshaped, yeah.
Right. What if the legends we cherish, the heroes we look up to, were actually built on something?
Yeah.
Well, something entirely different.
Something much more calculated than we tend to imagine.
Exactly. Today, we're doing a deep dive into this really fascinating stack of sources. They peel back the layers on Hugo Gamaliel and the legendary Gamaliel dragon.
Mm-hmm.
Our listeners really curious about how a historical figure's story can be so carefully crafted and, what hidden truths might be lurking just beneath the surface of these well-known tales.
Yeah, it's a great question.
So our mission today is basically to unpack that difference,
Mm.
between the compelling myth
Right.
and the, well, often inconvenient historical reality.
Definitely.
We're going to investigate the true nature of this symbol, one so potent it shaped empires, honestly, and uncover the complex machinations behind what looks like a simple quest for power. You'll see how just one artifact can mean totally different things depending on who's looking.
And who's telling the story?
Crucially, absolutely crucial. Okay, let's really get into this then. We're delving into a narrative where, well, heroes aren't quite what they seem.
Not at all.
And even dragons, these ancient symbols of power, they have a very secret life. It's a story packed with ambition, deception across generations, and this quest for a powerful symbol that's way more than just some fancy trinket.
And what's truly fascinating here, and the sources make this incredibly clear, is just how carefully constructed these histories can be.
Right?
Think of it less like history just sort of happening and more like, well, like deliberate political engineering almost,
Right.
designed to shape how people see things for centuries.
Wow.
We'll be looking at how this one figure, Hugo Gamaliel, became this almost untouchable legend,
Yeah.
and critically how that very legend is being actively used now in the present day. Our source material really pulls back the curtain on the whole thing. You find layers you just wouldn't expect.
Okay, so let's start by setting the scene. Hugo Gamaliel himself.
Right.
History remembers him as this huge figure, doesn't it? Often compared to latter-day St. George because he supposedly defeated the dragon.
The classic dragon slayer.
Exactly. And the power of this legend is so strong, so complete, that the actual Gamaliel dragon is supposedly still on display, right there in the Castle of Ice and Fire on Tharn.
Yeah, it's presented as this concrete proof.
It's a tangible symbol cementing his image, this great conqueror for generation after generation.
Indeed. And that image, that enduring image, is precisely why this deep dive is so interesting. Because when you actually dig into the deeper historical accounts, the ones that often get kind of glossed over,
The inconvenient ones.
the inconvenient ones, exactly, the contrast between Gamaliel's legend and what he actually accomplished becomes pretty stark.
Really?
Our sources reveal that, frankly, most of his campaigns were somewhat less successful. In fact, if you really strip away the myth from the documented reality, only the Battle of Bokaro and the capture of that dragon truly live up to the legend.
Just those two things.
Pretty much. It was this one moment of massive triumph. And that dragon, whatever it really was, instantly became this incredibly powerful symbol. It galvanized his armies, the sources say, and brought terror to his enemies. It wasn't just a war trophy. It was like a psychological weapon.
Okay. And the group Gamaliel supposedly conquered. The Knights of Jeneve.
Ah, yes, then.
The legends around them are, like you said, really vague, fascinatingly vague.
Almost deliberately so, wouldn't you say?
It feels like it. They supposedly guarded some great secret, what it was, totally unclear, obscured. Their emblem, though, was quite something. A beautiful jeweled statuette, apparently, in the form of a rearing dragon breathing fire. Very dramatic.
Very Western dragon imagery.
Totally. And the stories claim these knights fought in its shadow, and they were initially all about justice and chivalry.
The noble order.
Only to later fall into evil. It's a classic story arc, isn't it? The righteous group gets corrupted.
It is a classic arc, yes. But that vagueness you mentioned, especially around a group so central to Gamaliel's big win, that's a huge red flag for any historian.
Right.
It's precisely what Nicholas Clyde grappled with in his doctoral thesis on Gamaliel. We actually have the examiner's comments on his paper.
Oh, interesting.
And they highlight this exact problem. They critique the lack of depth on Bokaro and the dragon, and crucially, how Clyde's work fails to connect any of it to the present day. Or, as the examiner put it, the continued potency of the Gamaliel dragon as a popular symbol. This isn't just some academic quibble. It raises a really big question.
Which is?
Why is this bit of history so conveniently fuzzy? And why does this symbol, this specific image of Gamaliel, still matter so much today? It really hints at a story that's not just missing pieces, but one that's been actively managed.
Actively managed. Okay. So now let's jump forward a few centuries.
Right.
And we meet Romolo Nusek. He's a direct descendant of Gamaliel.
And quite a character.
Oh, yeah. He's not just your average ambitious warlord. Our sources paint him as, well, a psychopathic megalomaniac.
Chilling description.
It is. And he's fiercely resisting what the sources call Earth's renewed grasping for control in that sector.
Trying to carve out his own little empire.
Exactly. He's trying to build his own power base, and guess what he's using?
Let me guess. Gamaliel.
Bingo. He's leveraging Gamaliel's revered memory as his main rallying point. It's a brilliant political move, if completely ruthless.
Of course.
His ultimate goal, to establish a solid, undeniable claim on the Stanturus Three system, which is incredibly strategic.
Vital. Yeah.
And how's he going to do it? By finding absolute proof that Gamaliel himself was there centuries ago. He needs that historical hook to justify what he wants to do now.
And this is where Nusek's plan goes beyond just, ambition. It becomes this really calculated manipulation.
Nice.
He gets the power of historical precedent. He knows that's key. So to legitimize his claim, he recruits an archaeological expedition from the prestigious St. Oscar's University, no less.
Oh.
And he very cleverly puts it under the leadership of a Dr. Truby Comadridge.
Comadridge. That name sounds familiar.
It should, because, as we find out later, Comadridge is actually Mastrov, Nusek's eminent screes, his shadowy, cybernetically enhanced right-hand man.
Wow. Okay, so the expedition leader is Nusek's top operative.
Exactly. And Stanturus Three, you have to understand, isn't just some random planet. It's critical. It's effectively a gateway to and from the whole of local space.
A major choke point.
A major choke point. An archaeological claim showing prior control by someone as legendary as Gamaliel, that would give Nusek the kind of legitimacy he desperately needs.
Legitimacy to what?
To get the support of the other big warlords in the area, solidify his power base. It's all about creating a story, a history that serves his immediate political goals.
Got it. And the expedition team itself, it's quite a pair.
It is.
We have Benny, who's a real hands-on archaeologist, loves field work.
It's on the ground.
Totally. And then there's Nicholas Clyde, our historian from the thesis.
Right.
Who, at least initially, prefers digging around in archives and books.
Metaphorically digging, as he puts it.
Exactly. He actually tells Benny that history is mainly digging around only metaphorically, rather than literally at battlefields and ancient sites.
Which sets up a really interesting tension right away, doesn't it?
It does, because we often think the books are the final history, right? But what this whole situation shows is that sometimes the ground itself, the physical stuff, can tell a completely different story than the carefully written narratives.
That tension, yeah, between the written word and the buried truth, it runs right through this whole thing.
Okay, and then there are the locals on Stanturus Three, the Stegodons.
Ah, the Stegodons. Very unique.
Our sources describe them vividly, a cross between upright anteaters and Neanderthal men.
Covered in loose, leathery brown skin, yeah. And these incredibly versatile snouts they use for everything, sniffing out food, even bathing.
Weird.
Yeah.
But what's really strange is their behavior during the expedition.
Yes, they get agitated around certain people, notably Comadridge or Mastrov and Nicholas.
Why them specifically?
That's a great question, isn't it? And they're seen almost compulsively covering their tracks, like they're hiding something.
Suggests more intelligence than they're given credit for.
Absolutely. And later, one of the expedition's more unsettling discoveries is that they ritually dismember their dead, which certainly explains why, even though the team found all these ruins, they found 0 bodies.
Okay, that's chilling.
Yeah.
A subtle but definite clue about their culture.
Very subtle, very chilling.
So the expedition's going, and that's when things start to get hairy on Stanturus Three.
Right, the accidents.
Strange accidents start happening to Benny and Nicholas. A huge boulder nearly flattens Benny.
Narrow miss.
And Nicholas gets locked in his room with Stegodon.
Which, given their later discoveries, is even more menacing.
Benny's gut feeling is screaming sabotage.
Can't blame her.
And her suspicions really solidify when she finds out something truly disturbing. Archaeological documents about Gamaliel. Documents she requested. are vanishing from archives after she asks for them.
Wow. So someone's cleaning up behind her request.
It's like someone is actively trying to erase the history while they're trying to uncover it, even before they find anything specific. This is where it gets really interesting, like a proper spy thriller.
And these accidents, these disappearances, they get tied pretty quickly to this shadowy guy named Mappin Gilder.
Gilder?
Who's he? He's the archaeology department's facilitator.
Sounds harmless, right?
Yeah, sounds like admin support.
Turned out he was way more than that. He deliberately sabotaged the expedition's geophysics scanner back on Stanturus Three.
Sabotaged it how?
Rigged it to give false readings.
Yeah.
Specifically designed to hide something important behind a wall.
What was behind the wall?
Well, hiding it ultimately led to an attack by these nasty rat-like creatures when the team finally broke through anyway.
Okay, so the sabotage backfired, but still caused problems. But why? Why hide something? That's the critical question, isn't it? Who goes to such dangerous lengths, sabotage, maybe even murder, to hide something that at first glance seems pretty mundane?
It screamed high-stakes cover-up.
Exactly. It suggests the truth itself is dangerous, a weapon even. And the implications for whoever's pulling the strings are clearly enormous, way beyond just finding some old ruins.
And the plot just keeps getting thicker, doesn't it? With the multiple Gamalian dragons.
Oh yeah, the forgeries.
We learn about this guy, Newark Repair, an expert forger. He made a copy of the famous dragon.
His insurance policy, the source calls it.
His insurance. And tellingly, he gets killed shortly after making it, which starts to make a horrible kind of sense later on. And then Benny, in this incredibly gutsy move, she actually manages to swap her repair-made copy with the Gamalian dragon that Nusek has locked up in his supposedly super secure archives back on Tharn.
Playing Nusek's game right back at him. It's high-stakes deception.
Absolutely. And while all this is going
Gall
on...
thickens for...
Yes. Braxiatel, who's the inquiry chairman we mentioned, and also a friend of Benny's...
An old friend, yeah.
He starts his own quiet investigation, looking into what he calls the Gamalian Gambit.
And what does he find?
Something absolutely stunning. He uncovers evidence that Gamaliel, well, he didn't win the Battle of Bokharo.
What? But that's his defining victory.
I know. Apparently, the Knights of Jeneve, the ones he supposedly conquered, they lost deliberately.
They threw the fight.
Through the fight. This isn't just like adjusting the history book slightly. This completely flips Gamaliel's foundational myth on its head.
It changes everything. He didn't conquer, the Knights let him win.
Exactly. Which suggests this almost unbelievable level of long-term strategy, a profound deception right at the heart of the legend.
What kind of group plays a game that long, spanning centuries, letting themselves be beaten for some hidden purpose? It completely redefines the Knights of Jeneve and whatever their real mission was.
So all these threads, Nusek's plotting, the weird stuff on Stanturus Three, the disappearing files, the truth about Bokharo, it all comes together at the Stanturan Inquiry.
The big showdown.
Right. Braxiatel is there, presiding as the carefully impartial chairman.
Maintaining that facade.
And Romolo Nusek strides in, totally confident. He presents the original Gamalian dragon.
Which he found on Stanturus Three. Convenient.
Very convenient. Presents it as absolute proof of Gamaliel's ancient claim to the system. The political stakes are massive for him. The support of the powerful Gang of Five warlords. It all hinges on this moment.
It's pure political theater, meticulously staged for power.
But this is exactly where Nusek's whole story just completely unravels. Spectacularly.
Oh, the revelations.
Nicholas, our historian, who somehow survived an airburst attack.
Orchestrated by Mastrov and the Stegodons, no less. An attack that wiped out the ruins and most of the team.
He shows up and just drops a bombshell. He reveals that the ancient civilization on Stanturus Three, it was the Stegodons.
The primitive anteater people.
They were the advanced civilization all along. Complex, intelligent, previously just dismissed.
Wow.
And then, the second bombshell, Nicholas confesses he caused the airburst, deliberately destroyed the ruins.
Why on earth would he do that?
To stop Nusek, to prevent him from using this dangerous knowledge, the truth about the Stegodons' advanced past, for his own evil plans.
So he destroyed history to protect the truth.
Exactly. The historian who started digging in archives ends up literally destroying history to save a deeper truth. The paradox is incredible. It just demolishes Nusek's entire expedition premise, his claims, everything.
Completely turns it on its head.
And then Benny steps up, our archaeologist with the sharp eye.
For a big moment.
She completely exposes Nusek's prize dragon as a fake.
How does she prove it?
Remember the copy she swapped? She presents her repair-made copy, but the clincher is this tiny glass component, camera lens, basically. It fell off the original dragon she took from Nusek's display case back on Tharn. She holds it up.
Proof positive.
Undeniable proof. It's no ancient relic. It's a modern surveillance device.
No bug.
A bug. So what does this all mean? For the legend, for Gamaliel, for Nusek, for everything.
Well, this is really the core of it all, isn't it? The full reveal of the Gamaliel dragon's true purpose.
Yeah.
It was never mystical, never a symbol of conquest like Gamaliel thought, or like Nusek wanted everyone else to think.
So what was it?
It was a bug. A sophisticated audio-visual link, the sources call it, designed and used by the Knights of Jeneve.
The ones who lost deliberately.
To monitor Gamaliel's every move. They deliberately made this dragon look like the aggressive, Western-style monster Gamaliel would expect. It fit his story.
They played into his expectations.
Perfectly. But their true emblem, the actual dragon of Jeneve, it was completely different. A benign, wingless creature.
Wingless?
Yes, representing learning and knowledge, more like an Eastern tradition dragon. Wisdom, not disruption.
Wow. So where was this real dragon?
Hidden away for centuries in the tomb of Henry of Basarno. It was eventually recovered thanks to Reddick.
Yeah, the archivist. The archivist, yes. Who turns out to be a direct descendant of one of the original knight librarians.
Incredible. It all connects.
It all connects. The knights lost Bokaro on purpose. It wasn't a defeat. It was a strategic retreat. They went underground to continue their real mission.
Which was?
To be collectors and preservers of knowledge. A silent mission spanning centuries, playing a crucial role in this whole deception, waiting for the right time.
Wow. Okay, so the story hits this incredible climax. Deep inside Nusek's palace, in a volcanic chamber.
Dramatic setting.
Very. Nicholas, our historian-turned-hero, makes the ultimate sacrifice. He tackles Mastrov,
Nusek's cybernetic enforcer,
and pulls him into the active volcano, takes him out permanently.
ensuring his terror ends.
Meanwhile, Benny just barely escapes. And she has both dragons with her, the repair fake and the true dragon of Jenny.
She says the truth.
She does. And moments later, the foundation of Nusek's power, his castle of ice and fire, literally erupts, a massive volcanic explosion.
Symbolizing the total collapse of his fabricated history. Exactly. A spectacular, fiery end to this huge, centuries-long deception.
And stepping back now, pulling all these threads together, Braxiatel's role becomes much clearer, doesn't it?
The impartial chairman.
He knew so much more than he let on. He was subtly guiding things, nudging events, all while keeping up that impartial act during the inquiry.
What was his endgame?
His ultimate goal wasn't just to stop Nusek, though Nusek was clearly dangerous. It was deeper. He wanted to expose the truth about Gamaliel, too.
Discredit the original legend.
Yes, by taking down both Nusek's current power grab and Gamaliel's sacred historical legacy, he aimed to dismantle the whole mechanism that allows these adept champions, as the source calls them, to rise up using lies and manufactured narratives.
So it was about preventing future Nusek.
Exactly, ensuring that knowledge and truth win out over these power plays built on deception, even if it meant orchestrating a very complex, very dangerous historical intervention himself.
This story really makes you think, doesn't it?
It really does.
The sheer effort involved. Crafting, maintaining, and then using a specific version of history across centuries.
It's mind-boggling.
It shows how powerful figures like Gamaliel and later Nusek aren't just subjects of history. They're active curators of their own stories.
Shaping the narrative.
Turning even objects like that dragon into these potent symbols that hide secrets and serve their own agendas. Really makes you ask, what other stories have we just accepted as fact? Simply because someone powerful wanted us to.
And what really stands out to me in all this, though, is how resilient truth can be.
Yeah.
Even when it's buried under all these layers of myth and sabotage and raw ambition, and that duality of the dragons is such a powerful metaphor, isn't it?
It really is.
The aggressive Western dragon power, lies, conquest, versus the quiet Eastern dragon learning, knowledge, wisdom.
And the Knights of Jeneve.
Their hidden purpose, their centuries of quiet work. They remind us there are always people working behind the scenes, trying to uncover or preserve knowledge, protect the real story, even if their methods are, let's say, unconventional.
Requires incredible patience.
Immense patience. This deep dive just highlights that eternal struggle, that tension between manufactured power and genuine knowledge.
So the next time you come across some universally accepted truth, or maybe you find yourself really drawn in by a charismatic leader's story, just pause for a second.
Take a breath.
Ask yourself, who or what really benefits from this particular narrative being told this way.
And what dragon, what hidden source of information, might be quietly transmitting the real story right under our noses, just waiting to be found?
Keep diving, keep questioning.
And maybe, just maybe, you'll uncover some forgotten histories of your own.